Good.
All right, it is 6 o'clock. Call this meeting to order. Can we get a roll call?
Neil. Jared.
Here.
Derek. Here. Katie.
Here.
Lane.
Here. All right, if you'll stand and join us in the flag salute and prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for this gathering of people tonight as we continue to advocate for what's best for our students and makes decisions on policies and hiring that are hopefully in their best interest. Guide us tonight as we make these decisions. Help us with our wisdom. In your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Public comment? All right, no public participations. We'll move on to item 3, business items. Part A, discuss and take possible action regarding concession stand manager stipend for Miranda Buchanan, $6,000 for FY25. Questions on this?
What were we doing before? We just had like a volunteer, or was it a different stipend amount?
I can answer that.
Previously, we had a Jeff Hall, our head football coach, was doing it, and as our district has grown, we felt the need to expand that position, and Miranda is going to be able to do it more full-time and take on the role. We've got concessions in the spring now that are more than one site, you know,
Okay.
and so it's gonna allow her to make a little money and provide our concessions at a better pace.
And this is like broader than just, doesn't the band booster run
The band boosters
football
does our
game?
football.
Okay, but this
Football
is like
concessions
all
only.
other.
That's right.
Okay.
This is every sport excluding football.
Gotcha.
And you remember that Mr. Hall is now full-time AP when he's not being the football coach. So he didn't have time to do this like he did before.
Right.
And a lot of vendors too, Coke and all
Yes.
those different vendors.
Yes, sir.
So what's going on there? Yeah, much needed. Any other questions on that?
Nope.
Glad to see that. That's been very, very much needed.
I make a motion, we approve the concession stand manager stipend for Miranda Buchanan, $6,000 FY25.
I'll second. Can we get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek. Yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, Part B, discuss and take possible action regarding agreement with Stanley Systems for digitalization and storage of personnel files, $22,598.15.
So I don't know if you have any questions other than what I gave you. We're doing this in HR to put all of our files digital so that both all of the HR can look at, but then I can too. And so we have all of our past HR records all the way through present. So it's just modernizing that system.
Is it like a one-time fee for the effort, or is there an ongoing?
We're putting it on the cloud. I'm so glad you asked, because we have a representative here tonight. Patty, do you know the answer? I know that the large fee is gonna be for the service that they do.
Right.
But I don't know if there's an ongoing.
So, yes, so it's a one-time project, and it's an option for renewal every year.
Okay.
So the big part of it is we'll come in and take all the paper documents and digitize them. So we'll do the legwork up front. And then to make sure that it stays digitized, we're gonna create, it's a workflow software that will allow, and we're gonna teach the staff, but it'll be an option for them to renew every year. The documents and everything is still gonna be the property of Piedmont Schools. So it's just gonna be a cloud storage silo, but also a workflow solution for them. So they can do things like onboarding and offboarding very easily. If they have to send documents to certain departments, they can redact information really easily. Got little notes. I don't know if that answered your question, but things like social security cards, streamlining access to records are some of the things that the HR department needs to be able to do efficiently and easily, and it's just a way for them to digitize it. So.
Is the renewal next year about the same price, or is it more the first year because we have a
It's-
bigger
So
project?
the bigger part of the process, so it's kind of this is a two-scope process. Part of this is the actual labor of doing the scanning of the documents for our team. And then there's also going to be built-in where we're training the staff on how to use the software workflow. So year 2 will be substantially less.
Okay.
I think I gave you the numbers, Patty. I want to say it's around $9,200 for year 2, and I can't quote an exact each year because it's the
Yeah.
company's called DocuWare, but
Yeah.
it's the first initial price is going to be a little bit more.
Okay, thank you.
And that is Mr. Johnstonbaugh, who is best known as Katie Johnstonbaugh, his wife, sitting right there. Our
Stacy.
Stacy.
Katie's my stepmother.
Yeah, she worked in PC.
Yeah.
Stacy Johnstonbaugh, our drama teacher, who is her husband.
Yes.
I know them.
You
Thank
guys have
you.
any more questions?
Sorry.
No? I'm sure this will make things so much better.
Easier.
Any other questions or comments?
Nope.
If not, I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement with Stanley Systems for
You got it.
digitalization and storage of personnel files for $22,598.15.
I'll second it.
All right, can we get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. Moving on to item C, discuss and take possible action regarding fiscal year 25 rates of pay for incremental services not covered in contract or extra duty.
So what we learned is that we've had a wide range of pay for the same services from different organizations within our school district. And so when we figured that out, Patty got together with Jennifer and they worked to standardize those rates of pay. So it'll be the same throughout. And if you guys have anything else to add,
It's just really for equity
get her
purposes. It's just really for equity purposes across the board, where it's not so arbitrary, where one coach is paid one amount and another is paid a different, to avoid EEOC and OCR complaints as well.
Sounds like a good plan.
Any other questions or comments?
I'll make a motion that we approve the item FY 25 rates of pay for incremental services not covered in contract or extra duty.
I'll second.
Motion by Katie, second by Jared. Can we get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, Part D, discuss and take possible action regarding professional recyclers fiscal year 25 donation bin agreement.
so this is just professional recyclers bringing these small bins, I think they're light green, and they'll bring them to all of our sites, and then our parents, anybody in the community can drop off clothing there, and then they pick up the clothing, and periodically they weigh that clothing, and then they give us a check periodically for that.
Do we know how often they pick up? Every week. It's my only question, because sometimes you see people setting things outside of those they're not supposed to. And so I don't know if they will pick up those items or if then we have to do something with those. But
call them if we need it.
yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. It will be curious to see, because I do see the one at the Methodist church with random things set around it every week, but they seem to still pick those up when they pick up the clothing, so. I don't know.
Where will it be placed?
At all the sites.
Okay.
Is it like what we used to have by the old admin building and the annex? You remember that?
No, this is more for a variety of house goods and clothing and things like that, where that was more for paper.
Okay, I could remember what that was over between those two buildings.
I make a motion to approve the professional recyclers FY25 donation bin agreement.
Second.
All right, motion by Derek, second by Jared. Can we get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, Part E, discuss and take possible action regarding memorandum of understanding with Maryville University for speech language pathologist clinicals.
Just a person here in the area that lives in our area that wants that is going to Maryville University and is doing basically her student teaching and her hours through them, and have to have a school district to sign on.
Make a motion, we approve the memorandum of understanding with Maryville University for speech language pathologist clinicals.
Second.
All right, second, motion by Lane, second by Derek. Can we get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, Part F, discuss and take possible action regarding University of Central Oklahoma Partnership Agreement for Teacher Education Program for fiscal year '25.
Just the standard contract we do every year with the neighboring universities, and UCO being a place where we get a lot of our student teachers.
I make a motion, we approve University of Central Oklahoma Partnership Agreement for Teacher Education Program for fiscal year '25.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jared, second by Katie. We get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, Part G, discuss and take possible action regarding Oklahoma Public School Resource Center membership proposal, $2,500 for fiscal year '25.
So this is just, it gives us an opportunity to send teachers to free professional development, or have them come out and do professional development at our faculty meetings or whatever. And there are some other opportunities for us to save. I believe, based on what we talked, it's April Grace that is the executive director of this, and based on my conversation with her, I think we'll more than save the $2,500. Like, we get discounts on some of the different softwares that we use because of our affiliation with them.
I make a motion, we approve the Oklahoma Public School Resource Center membership proposal, $2,500 for FY25.
I'll
Second. Oh, I'll second.
Derek.
Pickett Jones.
Jared with motion, Derek with second. Get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item H, discuss and take possible action regarding district policy FES, student transfers.
So you guys have had a chance to look at this, but I want to give you and everybody in the audience a little overview. There were two major student transfer policies passed, one in January of '22, and then the one that was passed right after the governor signed this year after the legislative session. The one in '22 significantly changed how we do transfers, and part of that was that we had to have our capacity limits online, and it was in the board policy. This year, they added to that we have to have a district policy for intra-district transfers. So if somebody wants to transfer from one elementary to another, they have to follow this policy. Now, it all revolves around capacity, and we're over capacity in all of our sites. So even though we have to have this by law, the reality is it doesn't change anything with us. We're over capacity in all of our sites, and so we wouldn't do that.
I'll make a motion, we approve district policy FES, student transfers.
I'll second.
Motion by Lane, second by Jared. Your vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item I, discuss and take possible action regarding commercial driver's license instructor job description.
I'm gonna let Matt tell you a little bit about this, but this is a really it's going to be very beneficial to our district having this. I'll let Mike.
Yes, sir. Recently, our Director of Transportation, Josh Critchfield, took the third-party examiner class and passed. So now all of our CDL training, testing will be done in-house. With that, when he passed that test, he's no longer able to train them. So this is going to allow Alicia Harmoning, our assistant, admin assistant, Josh's admin assistant, to do that training. She knows it very well. She's helped aid Josh with some of the training prior to this, and it's going to allow us to be able, she'll train them, and then once they're trained up, Josh will be able to test them, and everything will be done right here on campus.
That's great. That's good.
That'll simplify things.
Bus drivers. I mean, that's tough. It's really tough. And that's a big step in the right direction. Do other schools have this?
Putnam City, I believe, does.
Okay.
And I think there's others that have made co-op with other districts, but we're one of the only ones in this area, I believe,
Okay.
besides Putnam City.
Great.
It's exciting.
I'll make a motion, we approve the commercial driver's license instructor job description.
Second.
Okay, motion by Lane, second by Derek. Can we get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek. Yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item J, discuss and take possible action regarding Oklahoma Building Services FY25 janitorial services agreement for $93,500 per month for fiscal year '25.
You guys have any questions on that? We can share as much or as little as you want.
I
I think I've asked one. I mean,
I can share in the pain of probably a lot of the staff from Jana King, so I empathize, and hopefully this will be a step in the right direction.
we have no staff members that this will affect their position, right? It's just Jana King.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
I make a motion, we approve the Oklahoma Building Services FY25 janitorial services agreement for $93,500 per month for FY25.
I'll second. Motion by Jared, second by Lane. Get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek. Yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. Item K, discuss and take possible action regarding school-approved communication applications in response to Oklahoma House Bill 3958.
So another new law requires the district to have a district communications platform. You can have more than one, but you have to have one. You have to have one approved by your board. And so we're going to ask you to approve 3 tonight. What this does for us is allows our staff members to communicate with the teachers or the coaches can communicate with their kids. But if they were to communicate, the law is brief but specific. If they communicate with their kids and don't use one of these 3 communication tools, they are immediately suspended upon investigation and could be terminated. So we're going to over-communicate the fact that they have to use one of these 3. One of the 3 is the band app, and we want that one because the band is already using that. We can be a district administrator, so that'll all be housed on district servers, and we'll be able to check that pretty quickly if we had somebody come in and say that there was a problem. Parents.
Parent Square / Remind, which is what most of our coaches are currently using.
So Parent Square / Remind, it operates much like the Remind platform already did with some other features to it. It also allows us to have district administration to it, so we always have access to all of that communication and it's archived. You can also share to social media and things like that through that app. The third one is our Google Suites, which our teachers are already using through Google Chat, Google Email, all of those things. And then we have a fourth one that is Class Dojo, which some of you who have had elementary students may be familiar with. Most of the time that's not communication with students, but we want to cover all of our bases and make sure that we're putting our staff in the right place and covering the things that they use most with their families.
So the Remind that we're approving is different than the one that we're currently using?
Yes, right now most of our coaches are using personal Remind accounts, and so this will be a district level Remind account. It also syncs to our student information system every 24 hours. So a coach will just go into and click on one of the groups, which will be basically their class list. So for instance, the softball coach would click on his softball group. It also allows for a QR code that family members can also join, but in doing that through that app, and when he clicks on softball, it's going to notify the students and their parents. And then if there's a grandparent or a step-parent that wants to also be part of that communication, they can follow that QR code and do that.
After we approve them, what's the implementation timeline? Like, is it instantaneous? This is,
No, it won't be instantaneous. We have to, Remind has to do some training for everybody, right? And we have to, so Band App will be instantaneous. That's what they're using. We'll just add ourselves as a district
Administrator.
administrator, thank you. And Class Dojo, automatic. That's the way we use that now. Google Suites, automatic. That's what we use now. Remind, which is Parent Connect?
Parent Square.
Parent Square. It's the same thing, they changed the name. The biggest difference for us is that when each of the coaches, that was the easiest way for them to communicate with their teams. The problem is, and they could put the parents on. The problem is we didn't have that housed on our servers, so we didn't have any way to search that. We would have to go to the coach and say, we need to see that. Now with what we're paying for everybody in the district, not just coaches, teachers, anybody that wants to use it, it's for the entire district that draws a paycheck here. They will then be able to, if there were a question of whether that was sent through the appropriate way, we could look at all 4 of those and quickly tell if it was that way or not. We'll have it ready before school starts.
okay.
Yes.
Is that basically when the law needs to? July 1.
But the way the law reads is they have to use an approved platform. And so that helps cover them between now and then when that's up and running. But we'll also need to roll over Power School so that they have the right list of students to choose from. But it will be ready to
I
go.
think I was more concerned about the summer sports that are all running through Remind right now.
So they've already started, softball's already kind of.
I mean, our group chats are going for things.
And
or-
that'll be okay because Remind is this Parent Square, so the fact that they're using those
It's
individual-
still approved, it's just not
approved. It's
on the
it's
server
district
yet.
approved.
Okay.
And it'll be better when we get it all together, but we want our coaches to be covered.
Yeah.
As of July, coaches and our teachers, anybody, there are so many opportunities to not intend to do something bad and to do something wrong. And we want to give our teachers the most opportunity to be able to communicate with our teachers, our kids and our parents, but still not be in trouble.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like miscommunication about this law, like just that I've heard chatter. So I just wanted to make sure that like the whole approved platform has not been being repeated with the rest of the law, as I've kind of heard it and seen it go by places, so.
The big thing that people need to understand is it's really about any form of text messaging to an individual kid that's outside of these platforms. That's why we want to give these platforms so they can communicate directly with the kid and not have the parent involved if the parent doesn't want to be. But they can't do that if it's not a district approved one of these platforms. So like on Class Dojo, not all that information may go to the parent every time. It probably does for elementary kids, but all these 4 platforms, our teachers are in good shape because it's all housed on our servers. We can review if a kid or anybody, a parent said, hey, there was a problem with this back and forth. We have that now and we can check that out.
Is just the school email a part of that platform, or is that what Power
That's part of
School is?
Google Suites.
Google Suites, okay. Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Sounds like we got a good plan.
Mhm.
Like it.
I make a motion to approve the school-approved communication applications in response to Oklahoma House Bill 3958.
I'll second.
Motion by Derek, second by Jared. Can we get a vote?
Jared?
Yes.
Derek? Yes. Katie?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes. All right, moving on to Part L, discuss and take possible action regarding Department of Rehabilitation School Work Study FY 25 agreement.
Scott's going to give you a quick rundown of that.
Okay, in the May board meeting, you guys approved the WAT agreement, the work adjustment training. And that is an agreement that when the teachers at the high school facilitate a job, work experience for the student in the school, the money comes to the school. This contract's never been, it's a new contract for Piedmont. It's with DRS also, but it's called the School Work Study or Work Site Learning Program. And so the goal is to expand their opportunities, and the pay goes directly to the student. So what it looks like is the student can have a facilitated supervised job at the school, which could look like being an office aide or helping with custodial services or being a library aide, helping in the cafeteria, and they get paid minimum wage to do that. We pay that salary to them up front, and then we request reimbursement for that back from DRS. And so that can occur either at the school facilitated work opportunity or at a business in the community. And they can work up to 15 hours a month doing that for 24 months, but they have to be 16 years old and on an IEP.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion, we approve Department of Rehabilitation School Work Study FY 25 agreement.
I'll second. Motion by Jared, second by Lane. Can we get a vote?
Jared?
Yes.
Derek? Yes. Katie?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes. All right, moving on to item M, discuss and take possible action regarding Coriel roofing estimate for middle school roof, $266,022.50 for fiscal year '25.
So Brandon Rakestraw is here, and he's with Coriel, and he's going to give you a little bit of understanding of what it is that we're doing at the elementary that wasn't covered in the remodel that we did last year's.
Good evening.
Middle school.
What we did after we finalized the first round of roofs is we came out and re-inspected every facility that had not been roofed yet. And we created a plan, basically a list of priorities as it comes to roofing. And then cross-referenced that with monies that were left over from the insurance claim that did not go into phase one. Once we figured out that dollar amount and then got the priority list of roofs done, we determined that it is our recommendation to do the middle school roof, the furthest east building that is detached, with the same type of roof system that we did at the intermediate. So leaving the existing roof in place, putting a gypsum board down with the 60 mil Duralast membrane, providing that 20-year NDL. The second roof that we recommended that falls within that, the monies left over from the insurance claim, would be at the main elementary campus, and it's the furthest north building, which is also a gravel ballast that we would leave in place, put the gyp board down, 60 mil membrane with a 20-year warranty.
Questions?
You just said it, but all that's left over from the insurance money that,
Yes, that
the
is
claim
correct.
that we had. Okay.
So have we looked at, I mean, does that complete all roofs in the district? Have we looked at all?
We don't have all of our roofs yet, but these are the two that are leaking the most.
Okay.
We still have several on the list to do yet, right?
Yes, there's going to be some sections over at the high school. We weren't able to complete all of that with the insurance funding. There's still some outlying sections like the ECC, but that doesn't necessarily need a roof right now. It's still in really good shape. But there's a couple sections over at the high school that we're helping plan for in the future.
I'll make a motion, we approve Coriel roofing estimate for Piedmont Elementary roof for $209,565.62.
I think it's the middle school.
It's
We're on
Oh, I'm sorry, I was
Part
getting
M.
one down. I make a motion, we approve Coriel Roofing estimate for middle school roof, $266,022.50, FY '25.
I'll second. So we get a motion for item M from Jared and a second by Lane. Can we get a vote?
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes. All right. Moving on to item N, discuss and take possible action regarding Coriel Roofing estimate for Piedmont Elementary roof, $209,565.62 for fiscal year '25.
Same thing.
same thing that he discussed.
Yep.
I'll make a motion, we approve Coriel Roofing estimate for Piedmont Elementary roof, $209,565.62, FY '25.
I'll second. So motion by Jared, second by Lane. Can we get a vote?
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes. All right, moving on to item O, discuss and take possible action regarding Red Rover time tracking management agreement, $19,000 for fiscal year '25.
Jennifer's going to explain this to us.
So earlier in the year, you guys approved a time tracking system with Frontline, which is who we currently use for our subs and absence tracking. We never sent that contract in because we started getting really bad customer service from them. And so talking with ADPC, which is our payroll software, there were two companies that the information that they take in on the time tracking will actually import into payroll for us. And so we're not having to manually take it from one system and put it in another. Red Rover is one of those companies, and the actual owners of it used to work at Frontline, and they left there to start their own company. It's a lot more user-friendly. Everyone will be able to either fob in at a kiosk at the buildings, or they can use an app on their phone as long as they're on school Wi-Fi, so they have to be close to be able to clock in and clock out. And we can set up those parameters and everything with Tommy in IT. And so we just feel like this is the way to go right now. It's gonna make payroll a lot easier. She's not gonna have to pull a bunch of reports to be able to input stuff in each month, since it will talk to the system.
So we'll go away from Frontline.
We're still gonna use them current for this fiscal year for
Okay.
the substitute management and the absence management, because that was already sent in to them.
Okay.
We just held off on the time tracking
Okay.
portion. And it's cheaper.
What are other schools using? Do we know?
Putnam City used Red Rover. I think Bethany is using Red Rover. This is their first year using it. There was a whole list of schools, but several schools use Red Rover.
I think one of the coolest, even, you can use your app to sign in, sign out, but our hourly employees, instead of filling out a time form, they use a key fob, and whenever they log into the building that they work in, they log in, it automatically logs them in and starts their hourly rate. And then they sign out whenever they leave to go somewhere or someplace and come back in. That's a really nice feature for our hourly employees.
It's actually gonna work for our extra duty stuff as well. So our gate workers, concession stand workers, it will be utilized for everything like that.
It's no more timesheets.
No more time
It's
sheets.
big.
I'll make a motion, we approve Red Rover time tracking management agreement, $19,000 for fiscal year '25.
I'll second. Motion by Jared, second by Lane. Can we get a vote?
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes. All right, moving on to item 4, consent agenda. Discuss then vote to approve all consent items. These items may be approved by one board motion unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. Do we not use, for background checks, remember what it was, Lisa? No. Went blank. Remember,
TLO for the last several years.
Craig brought something in several years ago. It was, okay, we must not be using it anymore.
We haven't paid them in a while if we are.
I remember he had to get some, like, he had to go through some clearances in order to be able to use it. You remember that?
I had to go
You
through
were-
several clearances to be able to use TLO. It's
Okay.
a very lengthy process with on-site visits and,
Okay.
but I don't know what it was then right now.
Any questions on consent agenda? Any items? Derek or Jared? Katie?
I'll make a motion, we approve consent agenda items A through Q and the encumbrances on attachment A as amended.
All right, I'll second. Motion by Jared, second by Lane. Could we get a vote?
Jared,
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item 5, financial report.
Okay, if you want to pull up the graphs, we'll go over those. So all of the revenue, you can see the totals match that total at the bottom now, because we're done, hopefully. There may be a little bit that comes in tomorrow, like we got a check in the mail today for like $1,200 from the State Department, so I'll have to put that in the bank tomorrow, but for the most part, we're done. As far as the expenses go, you still see some orange on a few of them where we still have some open encumbrances. So those are referred to as reserves, and those stay open. The majority of those are to pay for utility bills and monthly reoccurring bills that will come in July for June. So we've held back money in this fiscal year to pay for those items. The rest of it is gonna be things that have been ordered but not received yet, or work that has started on a project but hasn't finished, and so we're not able to pay those invoices in full at this point. So that is the little bit of orange that you'll see on the expense graphs. But as far as general fund goes, year-to-date collections, over collections were 3.7 million. So we collected that much more than what was on our estimate of needs for this year. And then looking at building fund, our year-to-date over collections is still the 5.8 million, and that is the insurance money that came in. And so that's why that is so much higher. Child nutrition, year-to-date over collections is 240,000, and a lot of that was the last of the PEBT ESSER money that we got in. I think it was about 120, so at least about half of that. Bond fund, over collections were 2.8 million, and most of that was just the new bond money, and then over collections and sinking fund was 525,000. Questions on any of that? Okay, just to give you a little picture of what we're looking at moving into with next fiscal year, with all of our collections as they stand right now for general fund and our expenses, which are finalized at this point, our projected fund balance is 5.26 million going into next year. That will have to be blessed by the auditor when they come out in July, just to double check all of the figures and make sure that our laps that are coming in from last year are the correct amount and all of that. But that is what we're projecting right now for carryover. Questions about anything?
Is it about what you thought on carryover?
It is.
Yeah, that's decent, pretty good. Considering all the things,
We hired a lot of new people. We put a lot of new programs in place. We did a lot of good things for kids, and we still came out with 5.26. I'm ecstatic with that number.
Well, I don't know what it was. You know, I think there was just a little bit of buzz. You know, a few months ago, people thought, you know, we were in some financial struggles, and clearly we're not. And I hope this reiterates to our staff and our patrons that we are in good shape. And really more so considering everything that, you know, all that's been done throughout the district, not just staffing, but from, you know, all of our facilities and things like that. So just general repair and getting things, heating and air, all that stuff. So that's good to hear.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Finances? Graphs are good. They really are. They're very helpful.
I'm glad you like them.
Jared, you like them as well, right?
I like them.
Okay. I'm glad you asked me that. Okay. No other questions or comments. We'll move on to item 6, executive session. Part A, vote to convene or not to convene into executive session to discuss employment is listed on the amended attachment C, 25 OS 307B1. Make a motion that we do not convene into executive session.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Lane, second by Jared. Can we get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek. Yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item 7, action item. Discuss and take possible action on employment is listed on the amended attachment C. Questions? Anything on there? I make a motion.
I see bus driver on here. How are we doing with bus drivers? In good shape?
We're doing really well. Changes that you guys approved, we're not hurting like we have. We're doing very well. It's our bus numbers, our drivers are healthy
Good.
right now.
That's a great example of being in great financial condition. We're paying over $20 an hour for our bus drivers. And I drove by a neighboring district today who was advertising starting to pay at $17.25. There's a reason they're over here.
Yeah.
Real big on the side of a bus, right?
That's right. That's right.
They'll change the sign to 20,
We need a sign.
25.
They're over here because they love our kids. What are you
That's
talking
right.
about?
And they
That
love our
too.
roads too.
They love the roads.
I move that we approve the employment as listed on the amended attachment C.
I second.
Motion by Katie, second by Derek. Can we get a vote?
Jared.
Yes.
Derek. Yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. Moving on to item 8, new business.
No new business.
All right. Moving on to item 9, superintendent's report.
So I just wanted to put up for everybody to see our new organizational chart for, starts July 1st, but these people have been in these things. It's much more balanced than last year. We relied heavily on Ms. Campbell. Last year, she literally had 2 columns under her name. This year, we are considerably more balanced, and I'm very pleased with the team that we've put together and all those people that are doing all those jobs. Now we've got a year A lot of us on that chart are brand new to the district. We've been here a year, and we were able to see that and come through that. We've come through knowing where we're going. We've got a great plan in all those areas. I feel like all those executive directors and chiefs and Lisa as the assistant soup have really strong plans and goals for what those people in those areas are going to do. So I'm just happy that's on the website, so everybody on with internet can see it. But I wanted to make it public tonight. Then I also wanted to give you a little bit of update on some of the things that are going on with construction. So we're putting 4 classrooms, 2 additional portables at Stone Ridge. We have to do this in order to have enough space for those kids to not have 25, 30 in a classroom until we get the 6 new classrooms in the storm shelter built out on the west side of that, which will be a little over a year. We won't be ready to go next year at this time. But there's a lot of work that goes into that, and we have to, for the city of Oklahoma City, besides getting the permits, we have to have a concrete pad for those to be on. We've got to send electrical out there. We've got to have concrete sidewalks for them, and then fire suppression, fire alarm. One of the things that I'm really excited about, I know Ms. Johnson-Baugh is too, is that we are moving forward with our black box theater in the high school, in the old wrestling room. We're doing that not through bond funds, but existing funds through building funds. And you approved a PO tonight for the Lingo Construction to start putting bids out for the different things that they're gonna do to build that. It'll probably, construction will probably start in August, the bidding will be in July, August, September for construction. We hope to have that ready to go by Christmas time. It just really depends on our bidder, our contractors and such. But that's a really cool thing for our community. We don't have a great place to have any theatrics. We've been using the cafeteria at PI. And we put some money into that, both into the sound system and to the light system, but it's just wasn't built for what we're looking for. This will be built for that. So we're excited. Are we not excited, Stacy? I thought so, okay. Then the last thing I want to tell you about, in our new elementary site over there on 164th, Lingo's working with the civil engineers on the surveys and coordinating utility coordination. If you remember, we're paying for the utilities. We didn't pay for the land. That's a great thing for both of us. The Stacy Group is making preliminary drawings. Whenever they build those drawings that are what they call bid or construction drawings, those are the ones that have all the electrical, all the sewer, everything, so that you can build that building and you can bid off of those plans. And so they're working on those, and we expect to have those drawings to that level by January of 25. The intermediate, same thing, that we've got preliminary drawings. We will have construction bid drawing documents in December of 24, we believe. And that concludes my report.
Good stuff. Moving right along.
Lisa, you're gonna have all kinds of time now.
Anything else?
Nope.
Questions, comments? Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. Item 10, adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Jared, second by Derek. We get a vote.
Jared.
Yes.
Derek, yes. Katie.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes, time is 6:50.